What's up, guys? Quick video here for you on the Fantasy Fellowship channel. My name's Kyle. We're going to be going over the injuries to the wide receiver position. It's been a pretty rough couple days for some stud wide receivers. Jerry Jeudy got injured in practice today. Terry McLaurin got injured in week 2 of the preseason, as well as Jackson Smith and the Jigba. So I'm just going to talk here for a few minutes and basically just let you guys know what I'm doing with these guys. If you're drafting this weekend, this is a huge weekend for you to capitalize on this news. Today, Jerry Jeudy took an end around, ended up clutching his hamstring, and he had to get carted off with his hamstring injury. So the official report is he's expected to miss several weeks. It's a moderate hamstring injury that puts his week 1 status in jeopardy. From just doing some Google search and some Twitter doctor news looking, it sounds like this is like a 3 to 5 week injury. So 2 weeks until kickoff for week 1. I don't think Jerry Jeudy's going to be out there week 1. I don't know if he's going to be out there week 2. I would say maybe a chance he plays week 3. So we're looking at maybe a 2 to 4 game window where Jerry Jeudy's not playing. You also have to deal with this hamstring for the rest of the season. So this is a big deal. Jeudy was like a 4th, 5th round pick in a lot of leagues, especially best ball leagues. He was like an early 4th round pick. And this is huge news because Courtland Sutton was an 8th round pick in best ball leagues. He's probably was even cheaper in redraft leagues. And now you're going to see those ADPs stack a little bit closer together. Maybe Jerry Jeudy falls to the 6th, 7th round. In the best balls that I'm seeing Courtland Sutton go 7th round right now. So I think the play here is I'm actually just crossing Jerry Jeudy off my board. I don't like hamstring injuries. The theme of this is you break your injury seal before the season starts. I don't trust you to stay healthy for the whole season. And a hamstring for a receiver, Jerry Jeudy's not going to be able to open that leg up and get to full speed, I think, for the entire season. So I'm probably crossing Jerry Jeudy off my list. I'm looking at Courtland Sutton, who I think can be a wide receiver 3 flex, but probably a guy I would rather have on my bench. And then the real winner here is probably Marvin Mims, who's going to, now he moves up. He was going to be the 3rd wide receiver. Now he moves into 2 wide receiver sets, which means he's not coming off the field. Marvin Mims is the big winner here. I would maybe avoid Sutton and target the hell out of Marvin Mims. He is the winner here. I also think a secondary winner is Greg Dulcich, who might be on the field more in 2 tight end sets as they have to, they don't really have a good 3rd wide receiver after Jerry. If Judy's not on the field, it's Marquez Callaway and Kendall Hinton. So yeah, we might see more 2 tight end sets. And then the other tertiary winners here are the running backs. I think Samaje Perine's going to get 15 to 20 touches week 1. I think Javonte is going to get maybe 10 to 12, maybe 15 touches week 1. So those are the winners for Jerry Jeudy. I'm probably crossing Jeudy off my list. So let me know if you guys like the Marvin Mims call. I'm doubling down on Samaje Perine, Javonte Williams for sure, as they're just going to run the hell out of the ball. So I did update my numbers for Jeudy to miss 2 to 3 games. It dropped him down to about wide receiver 42 and moved Courtland Sutton up to about wide receiver 33, 34. And then the other major news that we need to cover here is Terry McLaurin. Dude hurt his toe, and the Commanders' offense was cooking. It was against the Ravens' number 2 defense, but they were cooking. Like, Sam Howell looks fine. Terry McLaurin is uncertain for the regular season opener. It's typically a multi-week injury is what they're saying about this toe. They're not calling it turf toe, but it kind of is turf toe. It's a sprained toe. So I'm pretty concerned about this for Terry McLaurin for the long term. Now, hopefully he just sits for the next 2 weeks. He's going to probably be listed as questionable for week 1. He might even play week 1, but this injury is usually a 3 to 4 week injury. So in my brain, I'm reading it as week 1, he's questionable. He's not 100% going into week 1. Week 2, he's not 100% going into week 2. Maybe by weeks 3 or 4, Terry McLaurin can get over this, but he also has to get through weeks 1 and 2 unscathed and not re-injure this toe. So for me, Terry McLaurin, who was he was basically being drafted right around Jerry Jeudy, a 4th, 5th round pick. I'm dropping him down to about late 6th, 7th round range. And to be honest with you guys, I'm just taking Jahan Dotson all day. Jahan Dotson he might be a better receiver than Terry McLaurin. Jahan Dotson was the 16th overall pick in the 1st round last year. Terry McLaurin was a 2nd round pick a few years ago, and Terry McLaurin's great, but Jahan Dotson's good. And if Jahan Dotson is the stud wide receiver 1 week 1 for Sam Howell, that could just kickstart a really nice connection and get the momentum rolling for a Jahan Dotson breakout year 2. So that's how I'm playing it. I'm kind of crossing Terry McLaurin off my board. I'm going in on Jahan Dotson. I don't know if you need to target Curtis Samuel. I think they're going to use the running backs a lot. So for the Commanders, I mean, it's Dotson, it's Gibson, it's Brian Robinson. Those are the guys that I'm looking at to move the ball consistently. So that's kind of where I'm at. Let me see what else I got. We got a comment here. Yo, I traded Jeudy and got Mixon yesterday, and Jeudy got hurt today. Great timing there, Jars. Great timing. That's great news for you, man. Congrats. And then the other wide receiver news that just hasn't been getting a ton of hype in news reported about it, but it's Jackson Smith-Njigba. He had a nice, he almost had a touchdown in preseason, landed awkwardly on his left wrist. He didn't break the wrist. He broke a bone within the wrist. So it's not like his wrist just snapped, okay? It's a little bone that needed to be replaced and make sure he's good to go for the longevity of his career. But the way I'm reading this is not good. Like, dude's not going to be ready week 1. I think we can already rule him out for that game. Probably not going to be ready for week 2. I think this is more of a 6-week injury. So we're 2 weeks in, from today till kickoff, we're 2 weeks away. So that's good. But you still have, JSN maybe missing 2, 3, or 4 games to start the year. So this should boost DK Metcalf up your boards. I think DK is a top 10, top 12 wide receiver. Tyler Lockett, man, if like the first month, Tyler Lockett, he could be a top 5, top 10 receiver. We just don't know. So I'm boosting Lockett and Metcalf off. Really, I'm boosting him up my boards. Jackson Smith-Njigba, I still want him on my team because I think he's going to be a factor, come fantasy playoffs. And I'm really liking what he could do for our teams in late November, December. So I'm probably going to buy the dip on Jackson Smith-Njigba, but if anything, it's just pushing me towards Lockett and DK Metcalf. So those are the 3 main injuries to wide receiver. Jars is asking also, what do you think of the Mims as a pickup? I don't know if you missed the beginning of it, but that's where I talked about the Jeudy news. And basically, the Broncos are going to run the ball a lot. Like they were going to run a lot of 2 wide receiver sets and get 2 tight ends on the field and just run the ball a lot. And now, if Jeudy's probably not going to play week 1. I would be shocked if he plays week 1. And if he does play, I don't know if I want to start him. I don't know if he's going to be able to get through that game 100%. Hamstring injuries are not good, especially for speedster receivers. And Jeudy's a tactician with his routes, and he likes to get open deep. So we're not going to see Jerry Jeudy 100% for the entire year. I feel pretty good about that. These hamstring things could come back, and he could re-aggravate it. We've seen that a ton of times. But all of a sudden, Jeudy was the wide receiver 1, Sutton the 2, and Mims was going to come out on the field for about 50-60% of the plays. But now we're locking Marvin Mims probably into 2 wide receiver sets for the first handful of games, and he could look really good. He could look like a rookie that still is getting his feet wet, but Marvin Mims is one of the best picks you can make in your redraft leagues this weekend. If he's available on your waiver wire, go pick him up. He's going to be on the field a ton because it's Sutton, it's Mims, and then it's like Marquez Callaway, Kendall Hinton. It's not good, but I fully expect Marvin Mims to be on the field in 2 wide receiver sets. And we just don't know when Jeudy's going to be back. I have him missing 2 to 3 games. So you're going to get a starter's workload for Marvin Mims the first couple games and see what happens. But either way, like when Jeudy does come back, he's not going to be 100%. He's not going to be 100% for the rest of the year. So I'm looking at Marvin Mims as a sneaky pickup. Yeah, go pick him up if you can. And then I don't know if you missed it, but I'm all in on Jahan Dotson. Dotson's the other guy that I want on my fantasy teams this year. I'd rather have him over McLaurin. Again, McLaurin's got a sprained toe. That's got high injury risk to me. Same with the hamstring. I think JSN's fine because it's a bone. It's not a ligament. Whenever I see a ligament injury, scares the hell out of me, especially for wide receivers, because speed is the name of the game for wide receivers for the most part. But a bone in his wrist, I think JSN will be just fine. Grab him if you can. But otherwise, that's it for this video. Thanks for hanging out, Jars. We'll see you guys in a future video. Have a good evening. Peace.